Hello, good evening. Okay. The March 3rd, 2026 regular meeting of the Tomball Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors is called to order at 5:30 p.m. At this time, we invite you to join in our opening ceremonies. Board Member Hall will lead us in the invocation, and Kelly Violet will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to both flags.
Dear Heavenly Father, just watch over these proceedings, just help us to be wise and just honor you in our decision making, and just know that we love you and we want to serve you in your most holy name. We pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. Yes, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas flag. Honor and protect the flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. At this time, anyone who would like to do so will be allowed to speak on any matter other than personnel matters or matters under litigation for a period of time not to exceed 3 minutes. No board discussion or action may take place on a matter until such matter has been placed on an open meeting agenda and posted in accordance with the law. Is there anybody here who would like to speak on any matter? No one has signed up. No one has signed up. I didn't even know if we did that. We did do that. So I should ask you if anybody has signed up.
Nobody has signed up as far as.
Okay. All righty. Hearing none, I will now close the public comments. Reports and announcements by EDC staff.
We held our second Legacy Square Advisory Committee meeting on February 19th. We had a full house. This was the committee's first opportunity to really visit with the architects and the landscape architect and see some of the renderings, provide their feedback. I think it was a really good meeting. The next meeting will be on March 19th, and that will be a field trip so that they'll get an opportunity to actually tour the overall campus and see everything that they've gotten to kind of see visually here through the presentation. So I think it'll be a good opportunity for them to kind of see, touch, and feel the overall project. I don't know if there's anything you might want to add.
No, that was a great meeting.
I also want to announce that we did receive the Texas Economic Development Council Economic Excellence Award. This award is given to organizations that meet certain criteria with regard to education. It also includes education on the board level. So the trainings that you all have gone to has helped us reach that Economic Excellence Award level. So I want to thank you for that.
Congratulations. That's wonderful. Super award-winning EDC.
Right. So the Summer Youth Employment Program continues to grow and show strong momentum. We currently have 47 businesses that are offering 92 internship positions. These are exceptional numbers and reflect obviously a strong community engagement across multiple industries. That said, I am based on these numbers, if we were to fully fund all of the requests that have came through the internships at the submitted hours, we would exceed the $250,000 that was allotted for this program. So that said, I am currently reviewing all of the requests and working through those requests and trying to figure out a good way to distribute internship opportunities strategically across all of the different industries while balancing the part-time and the full-time requests and stay within the remaining budget. So student applications opened early this morning, and we are already seeing applications rolling in. The early response is encouraging, and it signals that the students are eager to apply for this program. Additionally, I wanted to let you guys know I will be presenting on the Summer Youth Employment Program at the Chamber of Commerce First Friday Luncheon this week, which will provide obviously additional visibility and outreach for the program.
Do you know how much it would be exceeded by?
If we were to fund the request at the full, we would be right under $300,000.
Wow. And we just opened it, right?
with
Well,
new-
so the student application opened today. We closed the business window a week and a half ago.
That's
So then
great.
what would we do there? We would tell businesses they can't have as many interns
We would have to
as,
scale them back. And either drop the amount of interns that they would be able to host, drop their hours. Or, I mean, unless we are looking at entertaining a budget amendment for that line item. Those would be the three areas.
okay, so how do we decide on that? That's not on the agenda today, so we cannot decide on that. But will that, like at next month's meeting, will you have it as in a decision or is that a staff decision?
It's absolutely a board decision. It's just something that we are bringing to you as the report of where we are. We are nowhere near funding any of these businesses because we have till August before they're going to be requesting payment. And so we have plenty of time if that is something that we are interested in doing. But really, this was the excitement of giving you guys the numbers of where we've landed. I really expected this program to take another year, maybe even two, to hit this type of potential. We skyrocketed through that. And so it's the board's direction. If you are interested in expanding the program, then I can obviously bring that to one of the next meetings. Keep in mind, don't know that it would necessarily need to be budget amendment, but that would be a overage of that line item inside that section of the budget. So any direction that you guys could provide, that would be great. Yes,
Can I ask you a couple of questions?
absolutely.
So you said the money wouldn't be coming back till August, so the companies would be filing to get a reimbursement for money they had paid?
Correct. So
Okay,
an answer would have to be given to them. I'm at the process of needing to give them their approval letter and giving them a ceiling on the amount of interns that they are hiring and whether that is a part-time or a full-time status. That way they know not to exceed that amount, which is very similar to what we do in our approval letters for like the business improvement grant or the facade. They have a approval letter with a do not exceed amount inside that section.
okay, so my next point would be that are we refunding them or reimbursing them at 100% of their cost for that student?
We are reimbursing them for $15 an hour
Okay,
only, up to either the 120 hours, which is what we consider part-time, or 280 hours, which is what we would consider full-time. And so when you think of part-time, full-time, don't think, okay, 20 hours a week, don't think 40 hours a week. It's more of collective hours
sure.
across May to August.
So in your formula, how many kids would have been able to be in the program, given the hours and the money?
The 300,000, we would be at
50.
250. I cannot give you a dead set answer on that because there are some that are requesting full-time. And so like a full-time internship versus a part-time, and that is going to scale your numbers because some businesses, so for example, HCA joined us this year. There are a few of their roles that they're like, we are really interested in being able to showcase to high schoolers. This is a career exploration. And then there are the other side, the double side of this program is to really be the workforce development process. So we are looking at making them an intern and hopefully being able to give them a full-time position at the end of that internship. And so some of those require a little bit more hours, or they would like to request more hours to try on before you buy.
So just roughly, if you were to take the total budget, is it 75 kids roughly that would fully take the 250,000?
I think probably.
So where I'm going with it, either cut it back to we'll reimburse it some lower amount, or find another partner like regional hospital or someone else to help contribute to expand the program. So it's just not all on us, maybe, if we want to expand it. Because that just could keep going on and on and on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, it is something that we looked at that we would get to. I was not expecting to get to these type of numbers this year. I mean, because realistically, last year was our first full year. I know that we started this program 2 years ago. That was our pilot program, but that was honestly to see if we had the interest, if businesses would buy in, because sometimes you have to weather the storm of whether they think this is more charity of like, okay, we're gonna get back to our community, we'll take on some interns, or they really buy into this and that we're changing the trajectory of how our future workforce looks. So instead of asking in 5 years, where are our workers, where are our workforce? We are starting that conversation now for that 5 years plan.
Measure it.
Exactly.
So if I understand you, we need to entertain, if we do anything with a budget for another 50,000, we need to entertain that quickly because you're kicking letters out now to the companies that want
Right.
these interns.
That's what I'm thinking.
So we have to do it soon, not because it's not something we can do in August.
No,
As we'll have already promised.
100%. It would be a April budget line item if that's something that you're interested in. We haven't talked.
Right.
If you are comfortable with a budget amendment, or if a budget amendment is even the proper procedure, since inside that project grants, that whole section of the budget we're not over in that line item. We would only go over in the summer youth employment program. And so that would be obviously a discussion.
It really depends on what the board wants to do.
Or a local partner, is that something we've considered?
It is not something that we have considered up to this point, just in turnaround time. I think it's 100% something that we have to address and discuss for 2027. I don't know that we could find a partner that fast for needing to be able to reply to some of these businesses.
Well, I think this definitely needs to go on the April agenda to discuss,
Yes.
like an agenda item, so that we can discuss with various alternatives and have us vote on something.
Okay.
How many total years have we done this so far?
So in 2024, we started it as a pilot program. We
Okay.
were intentional with offering to the businesses that had responded to a VRE survey that they could potentially be interested in a program like this. And so it was not opened. And so to me, the first true year that this program was in existence, running at full throttle, was 2025, what we just completed. So
Was there any cases where there was retention by the companies?
Yes.
Actually hire them? How many?
yes. 3 to 4. So we had a dentist office retain one. We have the solar company retain theirs, and still is retaining them. We had multiple cases with an intern at ADIN Media. They came back not only after they finished their summer break, they came back and worked for them in their winter break, then came back in the winter break as well, all the way through the new year. So we have multiple opportunities where these businesses are retaining this talent. We had two interns that were brought back from the first pilot year and brought back to the same company. They are now trying to track those college students that started as high school to try to retain them upon college graduation, to bring that Tomball talent home. Which, if you remember, a couple months ago, we changed the age limit on SYP from 20 to 22, and that's that retention piece.
Sure.
That, like, we're doing great for expiration. Now let's bring our Tomball talent back home and get them to work.
It seems like you'd almost talk to the businesses. I mean, if my business and you came to me, I would want to know if we expand the program, and are we going to cut back what's going to be reimbursed to us? Or do we say at 100%, we can take 75 kids, right? And do it that way and see what they say. If they're gonna only get 75% reimbursement, are they still willing to step up and do it instead of 100% reimbursement? I don't know. Because Bill and I were just talking about it. I mean, I've done it with multiple interns before. This could go to 300 and 350,000, and then all of a sudden it's a big line item budget. It already is anyway. I don't know. But put it on
I agree wholeheartedly. I think ultimately at the end of the day, we need to, as a board, I would love direction of what
Okay.
your cap is for, and not just SYP, but thinking of it as a workforce development initiative, because that's ultimately what it is at the end of the day. And then at that moment, then we can go out and seek partners to be able to match that, that there's no way that we can continue to just bump the budget. That's not realistic. And so being able to find good partners, I just don't know that finding good partners 2026 with the project, we're already bringing in applications. We are already getting student applications. I just not sure that the community partner as far as budget partner would match for this year.
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, go for it.
But what would be a good number that you would say you would recommend to cap off on with the students?
What'd you
As
say?
far-
I can't hear a little bit.
Yeah, what was the question?
What would be a good number that you would suggest for us to use to cap off? You're working with the students. What number would you say is a good number?
So I
This
think
is apparently too many for recorded.
yeah. So I think the framework that we have set in place, I think that $2,100 grant per part-time intern is great. And I think that the 42, like, I think those numbers are solid. Because we are giving them the opportunity, the business, the opportunity to either pick up somebody as a intern to let them career explore and see that, as well as really dig in of like, hey, I know that this is, if I'm the student, this is my path I want to pursue. I need more in-depth. I want to get my hands on the product. That's hard to do in a 20-hour-a-week scenario because they just get acclimated to the business and all of the things. And so I think that framework is good. I think to answer your question, I think we're going to have to set a limit, I guess, per business. The problem is you have bigger businesses. I'll pick on HCA since I've already used them as one example. HCA, they are looking at 7 different internships. That, to me, that is an amazing opportunity that those students are going to get. And those are 7 different internships across various different roles and career paths. It's not, hey, I want to have 7 nursing students come in. It is, labs. It is HR inside the office. It is radiology, like all of those type of things. And so it's not just one department. So we've allowed that on some of these businesses to go over a couple interns because they are able to teach and train them across various career paths. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah,
And we should know more as we get closer with the internships, that are actually applied for. We don't know right now how many kids are going to apply.
Yeah.
Until we get closer to the end of
We had 118 last year that applied. And I mean, when we started to see this coming, when I told Kelly, I was like, we could potentially hit budget or go over budget. The issue is until we start seeing student applications come in, we might have businesses that don't have applications inside that industry and we won't know, which means then they don't fill, which at that moment we might not be over budget. But just preparing for maximum and budget.
Yeah, we need to get a set of caps so you know what you're working with.
Absolutely.
So the cap right now is $2,100 a company for reimbursement.
Per a part-time employee. So they can hire as many interns across various different. And so you have, and then the full-time is going to be the $4,200 grant.
Okay.
So, I mean, you have one business that could take out 2 full-time and be at 8,400. You could be HCA and have 7 and do a mix of full-time, part-time and be at 29,000. So, I mean, I could give you 15 different scenarios all the way down this list.
Yeah.
And that's what really makes it hard. And answer your question earlier about what's the number.
No, I understand, but
I can.
for lack of a better term, it's free money for them.
Mhm.
So there's got to be some skin in the game the other way. Either they going to retain them or we cap it. Because it can't just keep growing. 92 could be 150 next year. When the word's out.
Yeah.
And do you strengthen the criteria?
I think it becomes competitive at that moment. Instead of, if you're checking these boxes, I mean, we can always look at it at that moment as, what are the industries that were most sought after? Are they primary industries? I mean, do we want to focus? Is there a differentiation between healthcare versus manufacturing versus a small boutique business. And so that's ultimately where, up until this moment, we have not regulated that. If you are a business and you are able to teach them something, because a small boutique owner are sometimes the most sought after because these students are wanting to create their own business after they graduate. We had a med student last year that applied for Craving Kernels. And at first, when I did my site visit, I panicked because I thought I put them in the wrong category whenever she told me what she was wanting to do with her life, because she was a med student. And she was like, no, because I want to own my own medical office. I chose to be in a smaller boutique type of business so I could see this side of it. So when you look at that, then how do you differentiate that small business owner versus Veolia, which is, to me, mind-blowing that we have an opportunity to get students in to Veolia, like water technology, like for 2 years to get them on board. It's amazing that they're participating.
And Wayne, so, and you may know this, I just wanted to clarify. So we did have, every year we've done this, we have had student applicants not get internships.
Right. Is
Right.
it cut off right now? Is this 92 going to be the limit? Is it still open?
No, it's shut down.
Shut down.
The business application window closed a week and a half ago. Right now, the only window open is the internship window. So the students right now are the ones applying.
So you've already done the math, and of that 92, you already know how many are full-time and how many are part-time? What's the split?
Well, again, the split is going to change because when they apply, they make a recommendation of, I would rather have part-time, full-time, or potential both. Some businesses want to have the application come in, they want to start working with them, and if they are a good fit with their business, then they want to be able to move into a full-time. So I can bring you a spreadsheet at the next meeting that will outline, that way you guys have full detail of seeing where we are with each business, and kind of see all the craziness that is involved and how many different scenarios you truly could run.
Very good.
Okay.
Very exciting though. Very
Thank
exciting.
you.
Good job. Okay, item F. Approval of the minutes for the February 10th meeting. Are there any changes to those minutes that anybody would like to make? Okay, did we have a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion.
And I'll second.
Okay, any comments or questions? All right, call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. New business, presentation by Bragg Farmer, Finance Director for the City of Tomball regarding the Tomball EDC 2025-2026 fiscal year financial results.
Right. Board, good to be here.
Thank
The total revenue for the year so far through December has come in at $2,054,000, which is $229,000 more than our budget, your budget of $1.825 million. Sales tax revenue, which we all know is your main source of income, came in at $1.7 million, which is $125,000 greater than the budgeted amount of $1,575,000. Interest income, $270,000, which is about $20,000 more than the budget of $250,000. For the fiscal year, sales tax revenues are down by 2.5% over last year. And that's primarily, we kind of talked about that when you were doing your budget last year, that maybe we had kind of seen the sales tax kind of hit a peak and weren't really sure where it was going to go, but hopefully we recover that too. I think we're going to recover that 2.5% and probably exceed it by our budget by at least 3%, probably over last year's revenue. So it's not something to really be concerned about 3 months in. Interest, on the other hand, it is down by about 17.8%. Primarily, we don't have any investments in bonds anymore. And our interest rate last year for most of the year was over 4% with the text pool and text class accounts. That interest rate is down to 3.8% right now. And we'll continue to watch it. And right now we still couldn't get better earnings on bonds and have to hold them for, 1, 2, 3 years. And we would get at least the same interest or less. So we're still in a good place when it comes to what your earnings are getting on your fund balance dollars. From an administrative expenses standpoint, year to date was right around $200,000, which is $67,000 less than the budgeted amount of $266,000. The indirect economic development expenses for the quarter came in at $210,000, which was $6,400 higher than the budgeted amount of $204,000. From a standpoint of the commitments you have for all the grants and whatnot that you have put into place over the last several years, you have an amount that's been approved by the board of $6,674,000 that's still outstanding. From like I had said about the quarterly investment report, currently y'all sit on about $27 million in the bank, earning about 3.8%. And as things get better, I'll come to you and maybe we can make some decisions on maybe doing something different with it. But right now, I think it's in a very safe place. It's very easy to get our hands on the money if you need it. And at text pool and text class, they're holding 70, 80 billion dollars. So I feel pretty comfortable that they're relatively safe. Any questions or?
The interest income being somewhat, is that because of the interest rate environment we're in?
Yes.
It's dropping.
Yes. This dropped from a year ago. It was almost like it was a whole percentage higher. And really it's it's about 3.8% that
How much did we have involved in the bond market that we're not in anymore? Was it a lot percentage wise?
No, we only had, I think that the most the board had was maybe $1 million and a half dollars. No, it's not a lot of money. The city was the same way. We never had a lot of money in it. And the bonds were being called as quick as we were buying them within 30 to 60 days. And then when you start looking at the interest rate that they were earning, it didn't make sense to go out and buy a bond and go through the whole process of having to pay a fee to purchase the bond and
until the next rate drop and then they pay your bond off.
Absolutely. And especially when you're earning the kind of money we're earning right now in the text pool and text class accounts, it just doesn't make sense to take that risk if you don't need it. Anything else?
We're going to make it another year.
You're definitely going to make it another year. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Yes.
Item 6,
It's going to look a lot different.
consideration and possible action by Tomball EDC to approve as a project of the corporation an agreement with SMS Precision Tech LLC for an amount not to exceed $70,500. I'll let Tiffany explain.
Yeah, thank you. So SMS Precision Tech has been in business since 2011. They are a precision manufacturing company specializing in high tolerance machining and component production for the oil and gas industry. They're currently leasing a facility located off of State Highway 249, and they have outgrown their space. They are looking at relocating their corporate headquarters and manufacturing facility into a 19,980 square foot office warehouse space that is currently being developed at 28002 and 28010 Johnson Road here in Tomball. The company will create 47 new jobs with this project. The estimated capital investment of this project is approximately $2 million. The 5-year net benefit of this project is $864,050. $864,050. The proposed incentive is $70,500, which is based upon $1,500 per job created. I do have Todd Griffin here, who is able to talk a little bit more about the project as well as answer any questions that the board may have.
Drill, baby, drill. It's working.
Yeah, try it.
So we make replacement parts in the MWD, which is measurement while drilling. So it's right by the drill bit, and it sends a signal of how deep you're drilling, where your drill bit is, making sure you're not on your neighbor's land. And when the mud goes down, it wears out these parts quickly. So we have 13 CNC machines and we can manufacture replacement parts and sell them. We sell, our sales are about 15 million.
Nice.
So we want to locate here. We're building our own building, we bought 2 lots for almost 3 acres. We're putting a 20,000 square foot building on it. We have room to expand, build another 17,000 square foot building if we need.
Yeah. All I've got to say is congrats and thanks for staying here.
Oh, thank you. We love talking.
I apologize. Where is Johnson Road?
So
By the Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the Walmart. Okay. And is it already zoned industrial?
It's some commercial.
Zoned commercial? Okay.
Are you selling your,
Because we don't-
to someone else and they're using it in their drill string? Is that what's going on?
Yes, sir. It's great. It's part of it.
So like NOV and,
Yes, sir. Mostly the mid majors,
okay.
total energy, road directional, leading. We sell a little bit to the majors, but not much.
That
But they have,
show you red.
we make more generic.
So, and he has worked with the city as well.
Perfect. All right. So we'll do a public hearing now. The public hearing regarding this item will open at 6:01 PM. The board will now hear from anyone who would like to speak for or against this proposed project. If you would like to speak, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and you may speak for 3 minutes. All right, no comments then. We will close the public hearing at 6:01 PM. Is there a motion to approve the agreement with SMS Precision Tech LLC as mentioned in an amount not to exceed 70,500?
So moved.
Second.
All right, very good, thank you.
Doesn't matter.
Any
No, it doesn't.
questions or comments? Discussion among the board or questions for the applicant?
It's an easy one.
Yeah.
All right, then we will call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, executive session. The Tomball Economic Development Corporation Board will meet in executive session as authorized by Title V, Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, Texas Motor Meetings Act for the following purpose: deliberations regarding real property, deliberations regarding economic development negotiations, and to deliberate appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment duties, discipline, dismissal of a public officer or employee. All right, so at this point, we're going into executive session. Thank you, everybody, for coming. No. So I skipped it. Yeah.
It's real now.
Yeah.
Now we're going.
Okay, now we're reconvened. We're reconvening into regular session and we're gonna take action on any items discussed in executive session. It is 6:35 PM. Okay, item 9. Consideration and possible action by Tomball EDC to approve a budget amendment to the Tomball EDC 2025-2026 fiscal year budget. We're gonna have a public hearing. The public hearing regarding this item is opening at 6:35 PM. The board will now hear from anyone who would like to speak for or against the proposed budget amendment. If you would like to speak, please come to the podium and state your name and address. You may speak for 3 minutes. Since there's nobody here, we're going to assume no one's speaking. It's 6:36 and we're closing the public hearing. Okay, I'm now going to entertain the following motion. Is there a motion to approve a budget amendment of $80,000 to the Tomball Economic Development Corporation 2025-2026 fiscal year budget to restructure and realign the roles, responsibilities, and titles of the personnel within the EDC, which will include creation of a project manager position, a marketing and communications manager position, and the promotion of Tori Gleason to project manager?
Motion.
Second.
Doesn't matter. Either one.
Are there any comments or questions or discussion? All right, then we're going to call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We are now adjourned at 6:37 PM.
Thank y'all very much.
Sign,
I like these.
sign deal on the
They're
next
short.
one.